Verse 361. When there is no possibility of discrimination taking its rise, the ignorant imagine there is emancipation. But as there is no understanding in them as to the rise of a mind, how can they destroy their attachment to duality? When there is no possibility of discrimination taking its rise, the ignorant imagine there is emancipation. Well, this sounds fair enough. Surely this is it. We're always being told that we must drop discrimination. And this is what allows us to abide in awareness, in pure awareness. But there's a rather clunky error that is often made here. And it's the error that those that are keen meditators are likely to make. Because to give up discrimination, you have to control the mind. And to control the mind, we practice meditation. And we get into these meditative absorptions, the jhanas. Second, third, fourth jhanas, the so-called Grupa or form jhanas, and then we could even go for the higher jhanas, the formless jhanas, the arupa jhanas. So you got your work cut out for you there. This is surely the way to stop the discriminating mind. But this is described here as the understanding of the ignorant. And they've got a very clear duality here. The duality of the discriminating mind and that of these meditative states which are somehow free of discrimination. The thing is, as soon as you stop meditating, you're going to be back in with the discriminating mind once again. Because as this verse says, there is no understanding of how a mind rises, how it actually works, and how it inhibits our enlightenment. The situation is clarified in the next two verses. Verse 362. As it is understood that there is nothing but what is seen of the mind, the attachment to duality is destroyed. Knowledge, indeed, is the abandonment, not the destruction of the discriminated. So this is the answer. It's what we do as enlightenment practitioners. We come back to mind, mind with a capital M. Mind is simple awareness, the awareness that's hearing this, the awareness by which we're aware of everything that happens to us, whether awake or in our dreams. This is mind. We follow the attention back to its source. You can do this right now. You're hearing this or looking at this. Let's just go with the sight one. Or you can do the hearing one as well if you prefer. There's an automatic putting out, isn't there? You assume that what you're hearing is from out here or out there. What you're seeing is from out there. So be aware of this. Be aware of the attention putting itself out there. Now, be aware of this attention. Come back to the other end of the attention. Come back to your own sense of being. And by that I don't mean an idea about who you are, but simple being, suchness, space, space for everything. This is what you are, essentially. Space for everything. As I said in the previous video, just to give it a bit more vibrancy, if you can, in this embracing of everything, understand that this is the nature of love. Then it becomes a very wonderful practice. And where's the discriminating mind in all this? We've left it behind. We're not interested in its machinations or its doings. We've stepped behind it. Our attachment to duality is destroyed. Our attachment to notions of who we are, in contradistinction to an external world out there. This is the duality, the world there, me here. We step beyond such discriminations. Knowledge indeed is the abandonment, not the destruction of the discriminated. We've simply abandoned the discriminated mind. We become like the elephant that's no longer being moved by the little prods and stings of what's going on round about. It moves when it wants to move, it goes where it wants to go, and it goes where it wants to go at its own pace. The elephant's quite a good simile for suchness, for being. And verse 363 takes this further. As it becomes thoroughly known that there is nothing but what is seen of the mind, discrimination ceases. As discrimination ceases, suchness is removed from intellection. The thing about this practice of returning to mind, to suchness, is that it's real. It's fundamentally real. It's what everything else depends on. So that's what it means. As it becomes thoroughly known that there is nothing but what is seen of the mind. Mind is the prime reality. Discrimination ceases. We still need to discriminate in order to get on with everyday activity. But the thing is, we no longer emotionally invest in that discrimination. We no longer build up a picture of reality dependent on that discrimination or on our discriminations. We're no longer parceling things up. We're abiding in suchness, which is removed from intellection. Intellection is not simply what discriminates, it's what takes the process further in terms of categories and relationships between these categories and so on. Intellection is the great gatherer of discriminations. But the enlightenment practitioner is no longer caught up in all that and is simply abiding in suchness.